Hello everyone. My name is Jessica Harry. I am the Executive Director of Operations for the ICA, and I'm so excited to welcome you to the first session of the first, maybe annual, maybe biannual, I'm not sure what this is going to end up being, but Clareidoscope event hosted to you today hosted and planned by the ICA US State Chairs. And we're really excited for all of the events that we have happening today. And we could not have done this event without the hard work of the state chairs and without the support of our sponsors, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a few minutes. But I would like to hand it over to Denise Gainey, ICA president, to welcome you and get this started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Clareidoscope. I'm very excited about this event today. I also served as the first state chair coordinator for the ICA and as the Alabama state chair for many years until my wonderful friend Lori Ardavino took over. And on behalf of the ICA Board of Directors, I would like to thank you all for being here today and to thank Julia Heinen and the Secretary of the Board, Chris Nichols, and all of our state chairs for all of the hard work that they've done to make this day possible for us, as well as the work that they do every day on behalf of clarinetists in their states and across the country. I also want to give a special thanks to our wonderful Executive Director of Operations, Jessica Harry, for her tireless efforts on behalf of the ICA every day. We so much appreciate all that she does for us. So I hope that you learn a lot today and that you're inspired by everything that you see and hear. And I also hope if you're not a member of the ICA that you will consider joining us. We would love to have you join the ICA. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and I will turn it over to Julia Heinen.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here, and want to welcome you to our first Clareidoscope event, and we're hoping to make this a recurring event that happens on some kind of a schedule, perhaps yearly. So how this came up is, I'm not sure if everyone's aware, but our U.S. chairs, state chairs, meet monthly, and we were discussing what could we do during this pandemic to have some kind of clarinet or music educational event to help out our states and our state music teachers and clarinetists worldwide. And we planned this event, Clareidoscope, and actually I think it was about 5 months ago, this came to fruition, and we've been busy planning all kinds of things. So what ended up happening is we've planned a 6-hour event today. You're welcome to drop into individual events, individual concerts, or stay for the entire day. We would love anything. We also have competitions. We sponsor competitions, and we will make those awards at our final closing award ceremony session. And we had so many sponsors for this. And I have to say, the state chairs reached out to sponsors in their state, and we reached out to the ICA sponsors, and instantly we had more donations than we could for prizes than we were even imagining. So I want to thank every single one of our sponsors. And you can see a complete list, but they range from large manufacturers down to small businesses, Brian Corbin, Clark Phobes, the Reed Machine, all kinds of things that you can see. And I'm going to put a link in the chat so you can actually take a look at all of our sponsors that are listed on the right side. I want to especially mention one of our sponsors, the clever clarinetist who actually designed our beautiful logo, Larkin Sanders. And we are so thrilled. We reached out to her to see if she would be interested, and within a few hours we had several designs. So I think there's a link in the chat that you can buy a t-shirt, and I'm wearing one of the t-shirts, and Jessica's wearing one of the t-shirts, and you can buy this logo on any kind of I think Jessica comes on everything, right? T-shirts and cups and all kinds of things. So it's fantastic. And you're purchasing this sponsors the International Clarinet Association. So I hope you visit today. Lots of sessions, whatever you can do. And I want to thank Denise Gainey for her wonderful leadership as president of the ICA, Jessica Harry for her unending helpfulness in doing everything possible and being able to answer every question. And I see that our president-elect, Diane Barger, is here, and we want to welcome Diane. So, Jessica, I'm going to turn it back to you.
So, many of you may not be U.S. residents, and that's okay. We have country chairs that can help you become involved in your area in the ICA. And if you have questions about that and you're not sure who to contact, I will type my email here in the chat. You can reach out to me, and I will put you in contact with your country chair. And you can get involved in some way with your country. If you are a U.S. resident, we're happy that you're here, and you may recognize a lot of these folks because they're very, very active in promoting clarinet in their states, but also in supporting the ICA during Clarinet Fest and throughout the year at many of our events and presentations and different things that they're doing. So I want to take a minute to acknowledge their hard work. And I also want them to tell us where they're teaching from, where they work, and what their state is, just so that you know a little bit more about them, and you can put a name to a face when you see them in person at Clarinet Fest next year. So let's start, and I'm going to call by name just because it's easier than asking someone to jump in. So we'll start. I'm going this way. And you know Julia, she introduced herself, but Julia is also the state chair for California. And next we have Tim. Tim, could you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Tim Bonifant. I am the state chair for Texas, and I teach at Angelo State University, which is in the city of San Angelo. It's basically right in the middle of the state.
Great. And Leslie Moreau?
Hi, I'm Leslie Moreau. I teach at Boise State University in Boise, Idaho, and I'm state chair for Idaho.
Great. Robert DeLutis?
Hi, everyone. I teach at the University of Maryland, and I'm currently teaching from home since that's what we're doing.
Jessica, you're not coming across. No sound.
I don't know why my mic cut out.
Now we can hear you.
Okay, I think someone else's mic was prioritizing over mine. Jennifer Fraley.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Fraley. I'm the Wisconsin State Chair, and I currently teach at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, and that's in kind of the upper northwest part of the state.
Great. Julianne.
I'm Julianne Doyle, and I'm the New York State Chair, and I teach at the Crane School of Music at SUNY Potsdam.
Is it still not working?
Back.
Lori Ardavino?
Hey, I'm Lori Ardavino. I am the Alabama State Chair. I teach at the University of Montevallo, and I am lucky that our state president, our president, is very close to Montevallo, so we get to work together all the time. So thrilled to be here.
Great. Jonathan Kohler?
Hi, I teach at the Longy School of Music of Bard College, which is in Cambridge, Mass, near Boston, and I'm the state chair for Massachusetts.
Great. Jim Kleiner?
Hi, I'm Jim Kleiner. I represent the great states of Connecticut and Rhode Island. I'm a retired public school music teacher, but I'm still on the adjunct faculty at the Hart School, University of Hartford, and also I'm the woodwind specialist at Loomis Chaffee Prep School.
Good. Robert Spring?
Hi, I'm Bob Spring. I am the Arizona State Chair, and I teach at Arizona State University.
Good. Karen?
I'm Karen Meffert Nelson, Minnesota State Chair. I teach at Gustavus Adolphus College, about an hour south of the Twin Cities, and I play in the Minnesota Opera Orchestra.
Adria?
Hi, I'm Adria Sutherland. I'm the Kentucky State Chair, and I teach at Eastern Kentucky University.
Good. Beth?
Hi, I'm Beth Weeman. I teach at the University of Maine, and I'm the Maine State Chair. And the University of Maine is in Orono, right outside Bangor, Maine.
Jorge?
Hello, my name is Jorge Montilla. I represent the state of Iowa, and I'm teaching at the University of Iowa in Iowa City.
Good. Maureen?
Hi, I'm Maureen Hurd-Haas, and I am the New Jersey State Chair. I teach at Rutgers University in the Mason Gross School of the Arts, and that's in New Brunswick, which is near New York City and Philadelphia.
George?
Hi, I'm George Stoffen. I am the representative from Michigan, coming from my front porch on this beautiful sunny day here. And I teach at Oakland University, which is in Rochester, Michigan, just north of Detroit.
Good. Kathy?
Hi, I'm Kathy Ogram. I'm the Virginia, West Virginia, and DC State Chair. I'm retired from the U.S. Army Field Band in Washington and also a retired teacher. And I still teach and freelance in Virginia. I teach for the Governor's School for the Arts in the Hampton Roads area, and my own private studio, and freelance in the area.
Great. Dawn?
Hi, I'm Dawn McConkey. I teach at Emporia State University in Kansas, and my cat just a second ago was meowing and screaming, so you guys just missed that by just a couple of seconds. So nice to meet everyone.
Gail?
Hi, everybody. I am the state chair from Ohio. I teach clarinet at Capital University in Columbus.
Daniel?
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Silver. I teach at the University of Colorado in Boulder, and I'm the state chair in Colorado, and I'm just thrilled by all the energy around this event. So thanks to everybody who's worked so hard for it. Thank you.
All right. Did I get everyone? We have a couple others with cameras on. I just want to make sure. Tried to go in order. Great. So we have some obviously that aren't here with us, but you're probably going to hear from them in a performance or in a lecture at a later point today. Everybody's been very, very active in presenting this, preparing for this event. So I would like to ask our state chairs a couple questions to get to know them a little bit better and to learn about what it's like to be a state chair and what kinds of things they do in their time to help the ICA, but also to help just clarinet promotion in general in their state. So, and this is open to anyone who'd like to answer. Don't feel pressure, no pressure. What is one thing that you've done in your state to stay connected to your clarinet community despite of COVID, or, you know, in light of COVID, while COVID is happening, any of those variants?
I'll start.
Okay.
I'm Robert Delutis, and we started a newsletter. Boy, is that a project. Making a newsletter is, and deciding you're going to release it every month seems like an easy project, but we've put out 2 or 3, and that it's been more like every other month. So that's one way we've tried to stay connected, and just sending out reminders and different things. So that's been the biggest project for us.
I'll go. In Virginia, I feel like the biggest thing I do is keep that email list up to date and in contact with the people in Virginia as far as sharing their events. And then other people can, you know, go to or tune into the events of the people we got a fair amount of very good clarinetists in Virginia. But one of the things that caught on a little bit in Virginia was these virtual master classes. I started doing for my students, or some of the only really good students in the area, and having different college teachers in the area be the clinician for each one of those. And then I noticed that some of those clinicians then did other events with other studios around the state, and it seems to be going around the state. And that's a really cool thing that happened. So I think that's one of the best COVID things that came out of our area.
I'll go. I think I would agree with Kathy that one of the things that's helped us continue is although if I ever hear anyone say the word Zoom again after this year, I might go postal, but the whole concept of using Zoom and using the ability to connect with other people has been really nice. And we've been able to connect with people that we would not have traditionally been able to connect with because it's flying into Phoenix or something like that. So it has been really great on that aspect, but it's so difficult for all of us to stay connected and stay on top of everything. So this event today, I think, is so important because it brings us all together and keeps the clarinet community together, which has been difficult.
I would add to what Bob just said that I think one of the things that's been very helpful is that the state chairs have actually been meeting on a fairly regular basis, whereas before the pandemic, we'd only really see each other as a group at Clarinet Fest every year, like once a year. So the fact that we're meeting much more often sort of kicked us off into getting the momentum together to put this event and hopefully others like it together. And I think it's a wonderful thing.
I'd love to jump in, echo those great comments. And I know if it's state chairs talking to state chairs, we all share some of these same values that you're hearing about. But I guess there's a lot of people tuning in who are pre-college students and older amateurs and so on, just great variety of people. And Colorado is one of those states that, like some of your states, lends itself to the demographics where we can combine the major programs in our state. Turns out clarinet players get along really well, and we can have these annual events that we've been rotating almost like the Olympics. You know, every year we have one of the major Colorado Clarinet Day events, and we'll do it at the different Front Range colleges that have strong music programs and strong clarinet programs. And we're trying to bring in people even from further afield outside of the most demographically populated areas. But it has been great because we've got 4 or 5 of us who regularly collaborate each year, and then we rotate these events. So I know things like that are going on all over the country and even all over the world, and that's been a plus.
I'm a bit of a late starter in this, but I've recently started doing a series of free online master classes. And the other thing I did, which is kind of a practical thing, is in those master classes I bring in people from different locations. So we had Gabor Varga, and we're bringing in Carmen Borregales from Venezuela, and different people. And then I noticed other state chairs had done this, so I've started a new group on Facebook for International Clarinet Association Massachusetts. So that's going to become a central location for all the Massachusetts specific stuff.
I'd like to echo, I also for New York created a Facebook page, and we've been sharing a lot of events, and people are very free and feel like they want to step up and share their events, or they ask if it's okay to share an event. So this has been a nice way to connect across New York.
If I can jump in, I just want to say the ICA has a new feature on the website called the member calendar, and there's a very simple submission form. And if you if you have a recital coming up or a lecture or presentation of any kind, just come on there and type that in there, and we'll add it to the calendar so that other people can attend. Even if it's not an in-person event, virtual is okay. I would just need to have the Zoom link or a link to the registration page, and we can add that so that we can get you more eyes on what you're doing all the time. So I'm really happy to hear that a lot of people are doing this on Facebook and sharing those things. But if you'd like to reach a wider audience, we can definitely use those events to fill out a really full calendar on the ICA member calendar on the website. And I dropped the link in the chat if you're interested in submitting something.
I have to say, it's been a pleasure to work on this because it's not often you get surrounded by so many doers. I do events mostly with my students who I'm dragging to make things happen. And this is to be surrounded, even faculty sometimes, you know, it's like here we have 20, 30 people who are all know what to do and how to make things happen. So that's been a pleasure for me just to see everyone chipping in without having to be asked, which is a real pleasure. So thank you.
Let's shift gears from COVID. And now let's get more positive and think about past COVID, what that looks like, and what are you the most excited about with regards to clarinet and clarinet playing post-COVID. And I get my second vaccine next week, and I'm very, very excited thinking about all of the places I want to go and see. I've already got a booth for Midwest in the works, so I'm hoping to be there and to support the ICA and meet some new people and bring them into our cause. So I'd like to know in your state and what you're going to be looking forward to the most after COVID is over.
I'm going to jump in. I have a student who has a senior recital on April 22nd. It'll be the first time I've been to a live concert. I just found out that I'm able to actually attend. He can't have an audience, but I cannot wait to actually hear live music in person.
I'll jump in too. I have a student giving a recital on Monday and then another one giving a recital 2 weeks later. And we're actually going to have audience for them. We're going to be able to have 20 people at each of these concerts. And that's thrilling, again, to see a live audience with that. I was going to mention also that I'm excited because we're going to actually have live events again. And I've been already planning my single read symposium, which is going to come up in November. And I know Denise has had a event, and I'm sure she's already been planning as well, getting that ready. So I can't wait for all of our live events again.
In Michigan, we had 8,000 cases yesterday, so we still have a ways to go. And I have to admit, I'm actually a little bit anxious that I could find my way to work and remember which key opens my office door. Yesterday, I forgot my copy code. So it's things like that, getting back to normal and figuring out what that is like again, that is causing me a little bit of anxiety. But what I'm looking forward to is the week after that, when we can just get back to normal, assuming I can get over my anxiety about this in a week, and getting into live performances like we all want. We want to have again with our students and with our colleagues. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. And I would also add that I'm wondering what we can learn from this era of how we've connected. The irony is that I think that this event today, it's a very exciting event that I'm looking forward to, would not have happened probably without the situation we find ourselves in. So I'm wondering if there's a way to be able to harness a lot of the energy behind what we've been able to accomplish with online events, such as the types of master classes that we have seen all over the place, which I think have been very, very exciting and can be an opportunity, represent opportunities that we can kind of carry over.
It's a little different here in Texas. It really varies from school to school. I know we've been doing live performances, but without an audience necessarily. We've had our student recital series with audience basically made up of the other performers, and we've been able to make that work. But I'm really looking forward to, in the fall, being able to open up the recital hall, assuming everything goes the way we think it is right now. My school has been very diligent about the protocols for having people together. I've actually, unlike some of you, I've been in the same room as my students these past 2 semesters. We have been far apart from each other, and I am not teaching in my office. That was designated to be not a safe situation. So we're teaching lessons in classrooms. We're teaching lessons in the recital hall. We're even in the big auditorium on campus. Sometimes we're just the 2 of us on stage. But so far we've been lucky. We've had the last count we had was there were 3 students who were active cases and no faculty or staff. So we've managed to sort of keep that as low as I think we could during this time. I'm looking just forward to getting together with some of my professional colleagues and starting to play again together. I know the quartet I play with is already planning on doing a little rehearsal retreat in July once we're all vaccinated. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I can echo all those comments, man. I've been actually lucky to teach live classes since September, but some of the kids either that are out of town or Larry, come Zoom into the classes, but some of them come in. Over time, though, you get fewer kids coming in because they get lazy, not because, anything else. They just find that using Zoom is too easy. They don't have to commute. They don't have to get out of bed so early. So I'm looking forward to when they're forced to come back in. Some of them I have for chamber music. They show up for chamber music and they don't show up for their morning class. So, but yeah, the other thing I'm looking forward to is performing. I haven't performed in a year now, and I'm starting to plan a tour in the fall of China. So I'm hoping everything is opened up very soon.
I echo a lot of what I'm hearing here. I'm so looking forward to performing again, but one of the things that I'm most looking forward to may seem silly, but I look forward to sitting alongside of my student when they are working on something and actually being able to point to the music that they are playing and talk about it. I really, really miss that from 6 feet away across the room, having my own music, their music. It's been a different new challenge.
And not having to say third line, second measure, that being.
I feel what everybody's saying, and in New Jersey, it's been a bit of a rough ride. It was rough at the beginning, and of course, unfortunately, it's a little rough right now too. Although Rutgers is being forward looking, and with vaccinations, we hope that that's going to help us take steps to be more and more open. I will say that for me personally, on every level, the interactions with students, I'm looking forward to chamber music. But I don't know that I will ever take for granted sitting on a stage with lots of musicians. I have to be, occasionally I've watched the Mahler 2 broadcast with, or recording with Bernstein, and it packs such an emotional wallop. And when we get to do those things again, I don't think I will take it for granted at all.
I know my students will really appreciate not having to have the players' masks and the bags that they don't have to wear them all the time, but any ensemble that they're in, including like clarinet quartet, the bags come out and the masks go on, and it's just hard to coach because you can't see what's happening, and they don't feel comfortable either. But they're doing it because they just played a concert with a small audience last week. And they were thrilled because it was the first time the clarinet quartet got to actually play in front of people.
I just want to take the bags off the bells so that everybody can get a long B again.
I go back in person to governor's school next week. I'm excited about that. I don't know exactly how that's all going to go. We do have to stay apart in the rooms, and it seems like they're using all large rooms. But I'll have some of my ensembles that I have. It's been very difficult coaching music ensembles via Zoom and coming up with ways to get that done. And then we have had a couple live stream concerts where the kids were distanced, but those ensembles did perform. I had a group that performed the first movement of the Mozart Quintet. And so the string players were all masked 6 feet apart, and my clarinetist was behind a shield. So that will begin to dissipate to more normal performing little by little. But as I reiterate, somebody mentioned about playing next to your students. Of course, I teach a little bit younger students than you guys, but for younger students, it's so important for me to be able to model or play with them and keep them going. Because younger students, they haven't been in a live performance setting that much. They want to stop or go back when they miss things. And it's a very hard concept to get them to, that's not okay. You got to practice it so many times to keep going. And I can do that better in person. And I do have an upcoming gig. I don't know exactly the parameters of how far apart we'll be. I'm hoping no bell cover. I have not yet played in the zipper mask, but I'm certain I'll have to do that. So I haven't really, I look forward to that. That's like in June. And then I don't know anything about the summer concert series I play in July. I don't know anything about ensembles I used to play with, whether they're going to be coming back, but I hope so. And I hope my clarinet quartet will be back to in person at least by the fall. I have to say, I started kind of in state, but it grew. I did enjoy virtual collaborations a lot last year. In fact, I did Laurie Artavino's arrangement of the Beethoven Sextet. I did so many arrangements. So I used to see all these arrangements on one of the clarinet sites. I can't think what it's called. It's got all kind of chamber music on it. Clarinet Institute, I think it is. So I tried out about 10 or 15 of those arrangements last year. Some of them are very good. Some I fixed and then uploaded. But so I did perform a lot virtually and do a lot of chamber music, but you know, looking forward to that back in person because it's definitely not the same.
I know that we all agree with every sentiment that's been echoed here. I teach a lot of middle school students, and I really miss being able to fix the things by moving the horn just a little bit or talking directly to them and demonstrating in a space where they can actually see what I'm trying to get them to do. Zoom has been very difficult for, you know, oh, my internet's out this day, or, you know, I have my schedule change and now I have to go to school today instead of having this time at home. It's been a challenge, and I'm amazed by what we as collectively as musicians have been able to accomplish in such a challenging year. And I think we've proven to ourselves that we can do just about anything. And so now that we can look ahead and see the light at the end of the tunnel and think about all of the great things that we can do back in person, I don't think that we're going to take that stuff for granted. Like applause. How many of the recitals have you seen online where it's just the person bowing and there's no applause? I'm going to clap so much louder than I did before this situation, just because I want the person that's performing for me to know just how much I appreciate them sharing their music with me, right? So I also am very, very excited about Clarinet Fest, and many of you know I started in this position after Knoxville, and Knoxville's my hometown, and I was so excited to be on the planning committee and welcome everyone to Knoxville, and then we had an amazing festival, and then it's like, here's the job, would you do this? And then 2 years go by and we can't have an in-person festival. So it's my immense excitement going forward for this big virtual Clarinet Fest this summer, and all of the hard work that Mary and her team has done to prep for an in-person event and then have to be slid into an online event. They were literally planning both of these things simultaneously because they just weren't sure what tomorrow would bring. So I can assure you that it's going to be an amazing conference, but I'm even more excited about next year and what Clarinet Fest in Reno is going to finally be for everyone. And I would just like to know from our state chairs, anybody can share here, what's your favorite part of an in-person Clarinet Fest, so we can get people excited about doing that again next summer?
My favorite part is going out for drinks with everybody. It's the one place you can go and meet everybody from all over the world. And what, you know, the only other way to meet those, you'd have to do 300 different trips. But everybody comes to this place, and the gatherings, the food, the fun, the concerts, you know. But mostly just the gathering of the people is my favorite.
I love strolling through the exhibits and running into somebody you haven't seen in 5-10 years, and you pick up right where you left off the last time you saw them, and meeting new people through those contacts, and there's such an excitement and vibe there. And then of course going to concerts and seeing your colleagues play or the headliners play, it's just amazing.
I'm excited to meet some of the clarinetists I've become friends with virtually and maybe get to meet them next summer. And anybody who knows me knows I'm a ginormous fan of Nicholas Baldiru. And so that's my most exciting thing that I want to do next year, is get to actually meet Nicholas.
And I think one of the things that I point out with my students, I was really disappointed that this year is not going to be in person because it's in Texas. It would have been great for my students. But I tell them, this is a place where you can meet all the people whose recordings I play you. They can meet. I've got one young woman who's a bass clarinet specialist, and I've been telling her about Sarah Watts for a couple of years now. And this is a great place to meet people like Sarah and realize just what, not only what a fabulous musician she is, but what a hoot she is to talk to. So that kind of thing for my kids is very inspiring.
I like hearing my former students play. They make me so proud. And then I also like to go into hear the young people play, the first year, second year teachers play, and they're so exciting, and they're also so nervous, but it's just so wonderful to see what they're doing and the new music that's being played and the new ideas. And we all have to stay young. Well, we have to try anyway. I'm kind of growing in the other direction, but we have to try.
And then a lot of it is just getting to talk to you all in person and seeing you and just catching up on what we've been doing. I know with Bob and I, we sort of have a running joke that, oh, you're from the other ASU. And we actually, I remembering a dinner we had in Belgium, 3 years ago, where he wanted me to introduce myself to one of his students, and I knew exactly what he wanted me to say. Sitting across from her at a table and said, I'm the clarinet professor at ASU. And her look was like, what? And Bob's sitting right next to her, just dying with laughter. So those kind of moments are really special to me, those kind of things that can happen at these festivals.
Yeah, I had an experience. At a clarinet fest, you never know when you're going to have something like I had several years ago. I was at a booth trying out mouthpieces, and all of a sudden I got a tap on the shoulder, and the voice says, "Hey, that sounds pretty good." And I turn around and it's Ricardo Morales. And, that made my life for the next 5 years. I mean, absolutely. Just having the opportunity to try equipment.
Okay, hon, hold on a minute.
It is.
Un momento.
Yeah, it really is. So those are the things I look, that gives me the impetus to drive to Orlando and drive to Knoxville. And, I'll be in Reno, boy. You can depend on that.
Watching and recording.
I really love the energy of the entire event so much. And I think that that's something that is so special about a big group of clarinetists. I think as Robert said earlier, we get along pretty well. And the first time that I went to Clarinet Fest, I was pretty intimidated. This is my very first event like that, and I thought, I'm going to be meeting all of my longtime heroes and people that I had heard about for so long, so I was a little bit nervous, and once I got there, I found that everybody was just so supportive and smiling and laughing and just really having a great time getting to know each other and trying new things, and I think that's probably my favorite part of it. It's just that happy energy that's there.
I think we can all agree that we pretty much leave feeling, some variant of completely and utterly exhausted from all of the events and running around and listening and just mentally fatigued, but also incredibly inspired by what you've just seen and heard. And I guess we can talk about our first festival. My first Clarinet Fest was 2006. I took a bunch of people from University of Tennessee in my car. We caravaned down. We were too cheap to get the hotel, the conference hotel, so we got a Days Inn, and we brought an air mattress, and we shared, all 8 of us in one room. And we told them we didn't need service, so we just got a bunch of extra towels. And we made it work, and we walked over to the hotel. I remember standing in line at the elevator and seeing Jonathan Kohler and Elsa Verder and Alessandro Carbonari after I just witnessed an incredible masterclass with Alessandro, and I was just like, holy cow, that person is just standing right in front of me. Can I talk to them? Of course, I was incredibly shy and didn't say anything, but it's just the opportunity to interact and see these people. And I can tell you, talk to them when you go to these things. Ask the questions that are burning in your mind about the clarinet, and you will be surprised how willing they are to share information with you. They just want everybody to learn and grow and love the clarinet. So it's a really great opportunity to do that. So yeah, for me, 2006 was my first. And I know, Bob, yours is a little bit earlier than that, right? He's thinking.
Are you talking me, Bob?
Yeah, you, Bob.
Yeah, me. Yeah, mine was. I'm going to make fun of you when you get old too. But yeah, my first one was in Denver when I was a student, and John Moeller and I went. And
what
that
year was that?
God, I don't even remember. I quit being a student in '78, so it would have been at least the first time around. So
I think it was '79 because that was in Denver, right? That was my first one too.
Yeah, I
think the first couple or 3 or 4 years were all in Denver.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, but there was that's because that's where it started. But it was, but yeah, I remember going with John Moeller, and the same thing. I saw all these people, and these people were like, for me it was not CDs back then, but vinyl. And you would have these records, and you looked at those people and you realized, oh my God, that's so and so, and it was pretty incredible. And then I've been to everyone since it was in Belgium the first time, and I don't remember what Guido and hosted it back then. Not the other time, but
was
the first
that 99?
No, that was the second time.
Second
it was
time.
80 something. And it's always been kind of incredible to me to go to all these and see all these people and just the history that you're witnessing. And yes, I am getting old. Thank you, Jessica.
My first one was that '79 one. I was playing in Colorado Phil. I think I was 19 or so, and we played at the festival, and I played something with the orchestra. Larry Combs played the Copeland with us. And then I went up into the audience to sit and watch whatever came next. And this old guy is waving to me saying, Sonny, come over here, sit down next to me. I want to talk to you. And that was Leon Rushinoff. That was the first time I met him. So, you meet the most incredible people. And like everybody has said here, everyone is friendly and open. Carl Leister, I think, was at that festival in '79. And it was just one of the sort of eye-opening experiences of my life.
Really true. My first one was 1989. I won't tell you how old I was, but I was young. Let's just say that. And but I still remember so many performances. I had a compulsion to go to recital after recital until I recall the sound of the clarinet was a little distorted in my head. But I saw William O. Smith, and I saw Jerry Arante, and I saw Guy Dungan, and it really did change my life. I still remember those performances.
I think my first one was also in the 80s. I had just joined the Army right out of college, really young. And it was the one at Towson State University. I'm thinking maybe Ed Palanker might have hosted it, possibly. I'm not sure. But
Yeah, he was there.
Okay. And I was really young and ferocious. And so I ended up playing for Leon Rushinoff's masterclass. And I talked to him the night before. So I was going to do a Cavallini Caprice for him, so I polished one up. And when I went in to play for him, he said, nah, I don't want to hear that one. Flip, 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 play this one. So fortunately, I knew some of them. It was like every ounce of concentration I could muster up. It went fine, but boy, was I nervous. And that was my first clarinet fest. And the rest, it was really exciting getting to hear some of you guys whose CDs I had. Bob Spring, I absolutely worshiped you, and Jonathan Kohler, I still to this day have your Clarinet Alone CD. And when I teach Osborne, always I use yours. I still think yours is the best one I've ever heard. And so getting to meet some of you guys, my younger day, although I was in the Army, but it was just and equipment that, like the first time that I got to try what are those Italian clarinets? I can't think what they're called right now.
Oh, the Patricola?
Yeah. Getting
Right.
to try things like that you would never normally get to try, and having an idea
Yeah.
what they played like, and some of the things you thought were going to be fantastic were not. Some things you never thought in a million years, of different kinds of reed cases and toys you need for the clarinet that you didn't even know you needed.
And just being able also to try out some of those really unusual clarinets that you don't see in your typical music store. I remember in Orlando, I had a picture taken both of me playing an A-flat clarinet where I could barely get my fingers onto it, and then one of the Eppelsheim contrabass clarinets just around the corner from them. And I also remember in Assisi playing a clarinet in G. I mean, when do we see a clarinet in G other than at Clarinet Fest?
Wow, you don't have to watch more Turkish videos. I'm going to send you some.
Well, the video is one thing. Actually being able to play that instrument is a whole different thing. And feeling how much heavier it is, and how you almost have to like reach out like this in order to balance it properly. It's a whole new experience.
I think we're all ready for those new experiences.
Yes.
So much from what I'm hearing from you. Well, it is now 12:50. We have a recital to attend at 1 o'clock. I'm going to drop the link in the chat here for you to follow us over to YouTube. But I, again, want to thank everyone so much for planning this event. I'm really looking forward to all of the performances and presentations as much as you are, I'm sure. If you have any questions or any difficulty accessing any events, please email me at edo@clarinet.org, and I will have my email open at any time to try to answer those questions for you. So a round of applause for all of our wonderful state chairs. And let me grab the link here.
And certainly a round of applause for Jessica for
Thank you
for
Jessica.
doing all this. And to Denise and to Julia.
Yeah. And I want to
Absolutely.
encourage anyone who is not a member once again to join us in the ICA if you're at least even a little bit curious about what we're doing. This is just one of many, many events. Obviously, this event is free and open to anyone, but Clarinet Fest this summer, because of our sponsors and because of the tireless work of the board, will be free and open as well for the first time. And we're so excited about that event. You can find information at clarinet.org. Student memberships until the end of the summer. $10. You can't beat it. It's a really, really great benefit. Lots of benefits. Lots of really great events coming up that you should want to be in attendance for. So,
And
let's
Jessica,
all. Oh yes.
I just want to mention if you know of someone who has a hardship situation would like to join the ICA, please contact your state chair and let them be an advocate for you. But we can work that situation out. So if you know a student who's in need or someone who is in need who would love to be a member, all the state chairs would love to help.
Absolutely.
Diane just reminded me we extended that to the end of the year, so that $10 membership is good for until the end of the year. My bad, I messed that up. Sorry. All right. So please follow this link. It's in chat here, and I'll post it on the Facebook channel as well, so that you can access that. And we're gonna meet together and enjoy this wonderful recital that the state chairs have prepared for you. And we will see you in just a few minutes. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.